It's a good day. It's a good day. It's a good day. I have 3 kids. Anybody else got 3 or more kids? Let me hear from you. They are tired, okay? That's why they didn't cheer much. Okay, so I've got 3 kids. I've got Cash, named after Johnny Cash. Come on. A few people. We got Kobe, named after Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bean. Come on, okay. And then we got Sadie, who's just Sadie. Probably a baby book name. I don't know. I don't even know how she got that name. But my son Cash, he started kindergarten this year. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I was not prepared for the first week of kindergarten. Not at all. I was not prepared. After the first week of kindergarten, we were talking to my son Cash, and he's kind of quiet and, quiet around us. He won't open up to us, but apparently at school, here's what they do at school, okay? I gotta take it aside real quick. At school, when you get in trouble, when I got in trouble, we would have write-offs. Anybody else get write-offs? Okay, I was in West Tennessee. We got paddled. No? Okay. Y'all don't do that in East Tennessee. So we got paddled. We get write-offs. It would be like, I will not talk in class. And you have to write that 1,000 times, you know. It's incredible. And here, though, at Amherst Elementary, they get lap cards. So what this means is Cash, he gets a lap card if he's been talking. That's how he gets in trouble. So at recess, rather than socializing and becoming a human being, he instead is walking laps around the building. Come on, somebody. I'm telling you, that right there will make you stop talking in class. And he's 9 lap cards in, though, so he is, whew. All right, anyway. So neither here nor there. That's where he goes to school. Okay, so Cash, he comes back after the first week, and he finally opens up to us one day, and he lets us know about a little kid in his class. I'm like, oh man, Cash has his first friend at school. This is incredible. And he lets us know that there's this one little kid in class that wouldn't let Cash play with him. It is sad. Now, this is my firstborn, and I was not prepared for the feeling I got when I heard that a 5-year-old would not allow my 5-year-old to play with him. But I'll tell you right now, I got so angry, so offended, I was ready to throw hands and fight this 5-year-old. 100% I think I could take him. Just a little doubt. Now, they don't tell you when you birth your child, if you're pregnant, listen in, they don't tell you at the hospital, all they tell you at the hospital is, don't shake the baby. Like, that's it. They're very unhelpful. And so they give you the baby and they don't tell you that 5 years from now, the kid that's next door in the hospital, you're gonna wanna beat that kid up. They don't tell you that. Now, apparently, Cash is, he's cool, I guess, because now he is best friends with this same little kid. Cash moved on from that offense. It was a moment in time for him. I did not move on. I was ticked that he's still friends with this kid. Because I've been prepping for a year, man. I've been working out every day, ready to beat this kid up and his daddy and his mama and his dog. When you have kids, you'll understand. Now, here's the deal, okay? For Cash, that offense was a choice. It was a moment in time. For me, it was a choice to walk with longer than I needed to. Now, that's how offense works in your life and in mine, by the way. Offense is a moment. Offended is a choice. Everybody here, we encounter offense. If you leave here today and you drive down Kingston Pike, you will encounter offense. Grandma driving in the left lane offends me daily. I want to run her over. And then I get saved again. But listen, I mean, everyone gets offended from time to time, but not everyone walks in offense. See, when you walk offended, and what you end up doing is you walk with this idea, with this expectation that somebody owes you something. It's a debt. And If I am unable to resolve the offense, we will work on extracting what is owed from us from another source. So you get hurt at work, let's say. Somebody offends you at work. It's an 8 out of 10 hurt. Like, you're offended. You're mad. Your boss, like, you about to quit. If you don't resolve that with them and move on, somebody say move on. You will take that offense out on somebody else. And typically that someone else is someone that is closest to you. They weren't even related or involved to the original 8 out of 10 offense, but you will walk into your house and your kid will do something that is just a little annoyance, annoying you 2 out of 10. And you will take that 8 out of 10 offense from work out on your kids. That's why you and I, we can almost get divorced. You can almost get divorced when he doesn't take the trash out. That's why you can almost leave a friendship that you've had for years and years and years because they sent you a text that you took the wrong way. It's not even them. It's you allowing offense to control you. We're in the series Shame Off You, and this is really what makes, it's really, offense is one of the most aggressive agents of shame in our lives. We live in an easily offended and easily offendable world. Everybody is offended by something or someone. It's become so normal in our world today that if you're not offended, that's offensive. You mean that didn't bother you like it bothered me? Did you hear what they said? Did you look at this text that they sent me? Doesn't that, that's what we sound like. That's not speaking in tongues either. A little Christian joke for you. Now, some of us here today, we think that offense is not a big deal. Why? Because it's not a big thing. But that little thing has the power to infect and affect your entire life. You know, it's just a little thing that I avoid them now. It's just a little thing that I don't go to every family dinner now. But that little thing grows larger and larger and larger until finally it is the monster under your bed and it is messing up your life. Some of you here today, you might think like I do. I am not easily offended. I'm not easily offended. Austin Coleman, I'm not easily offended. Fun fact about me, okay? Fun fact. Unless, of course, you say something cross to my wife. Or, you know, you're a 5-year-old and you're mean to my 5-year-old. Or you're being critical of my staff at church. Or you're not liking our church, or you sleep during my sermons, or you cut me off on Kingston Pike. In fact, I am very easily offended. And what I'm willing to bet, though, is that you are eerily similar. All of us have stuff we get offended by. But what is that? What is it about us that makes us offendable? Or maybe a better way to ask that is, how did we get here? How do we get here? How do we get to this position where we are so easily offended? And the simple answer I want to give you today is the devil made us do it. Now, if you've ever heard me preach, I am not the guy that says, the devil made me do it. I'm not that guy at all. But in this situation, lean in on this. In this situation, I think it's a lot more directly involved than we even want to acknowledge. Pastor, you believe there's a devil? I do believe there's a devil. You believe that there's demons? Yeah, I do. And in fact, I believe that a lot of what he wants to do in your life is create offense so that you can be divided. And let me illustrate this way. Annie and Tristan, y'all come up here real quick. Give it up for Annie and Tristan. Look at them. This is great. Like, you can see Annie's knees. You can't see his knees. And no knees. No knees. That's his nickname. He doesn't ever wear shorts. And he never skips leg day either. So, this guy. So, Okay, come up here in front of everybody. You are the center of attention now, okay? So this is, yeah, okay. This is Annie. Everybody say, hey, Annie. And this is Tristan. You don't have to say hey to him. And they've been married for almost 4 years, right? Okay, that's incredible. Yeah, you can clap for that, okay. Some of y'all are like, yeah, they've proved nothing, okay? Get me to 7 and then I'll clap. Okay, so Annie and Tristan, they just had a baby. Incredible, incredible. Tristan's sleeping through the night. Annie, on the other hand, is not. And
Actually, I am.
oh, that a girl. Okay, well, I'm jealous. And none of our 3 kids sleep through the night. We're doing something wrong. And anyway, so they've been married for a while. They have little Anderson. I call her LA for short. It's a great nickname. You should join me in that as well. Now, one of my favorite things is, I gotta do it again, bro. One of my favorite things about Annie and Tristan in the office, Tristan will ask Annie this question every single day. And I can't believe he asked this question, but every single day he asks Annie this question. Annie, tell everybody the question that he asks of you every day.
Every day he says, do you think I'm ugly?
What a question. Okay. All right, look, I'm not just trying to make fun of him. We're going somewhere. Okay, now, here's the deal. Annie and Tristan are together. They are together. They are married. This is the way God designed it. We got a man, we got a woman for life, forever. Go increase and multiply with kiddos, right? You're gonna have 3 more so that you can actually obey the scriptures and multiply. I'm just kidding. That's not an action. I don't know, maybe. Now, here's the deal. Annie and Tristan here. The devil wants to sneak his way in here. I'm the devil. I'm the devil here. Now, here's his goal, okay? The devil's goal is destruction. I want to destroy your marriage, my guy. John 10:10, what does it say? The enemy, the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Attaboy, Bible. And he wants to destroy your marriage. He wants to destroy your family. He wants to destroy y'all. Hey, if you're married today, he wants to destroy your family. If you're not married today, he wants to destroy your family. He wants to destroy you. He wants to destroy me. That's his goal. But what he doesn't do is the enemy doesn't show up and say, hey, Tristan, 4 years in, I'm here to destroy. Nope. Because Tristan, he wouldn't allow that, would you? No, put your chest out. Let's go. Flex on him. Okay. My guy. Okay. What was that? Okay. Now grab your wife again, appropriately. And so his goal is destruction. Now, he's not showing up to destroy. What he's showing up to do is a little bit different. His strategy is division. What he wants to do is he wants to slither on in here. Strategy is division. Matthew chapter 12. Tristan, what does that say? I'm just kidding. Every kingdom divided against itself will be ruined. Ruined. Every city that is against itself, divided, cannot stand. Now, he wants to divide them. He wants to separate them. His strategy is to destroy you. He wants you destroyed. That's his goal. And he's going to get into your relationships to try to divide your relationships. He wants to divide your marriage, create space. The baby goes with you. Space. This is the way, by the way, that he does it in the church as well. Let me just say, the church in the New Testament is referred to as a marriage more than anything else. You got Jesus, and you got the church, okay? And what the enemy wants to do more than anything else is he wants to destroy the church. He wants to destroy your marriage, yes, but he wants to destroy the church. He wants to destroy Heart and Soul Church. But he's not showing up to our office Monday through Friday and say, hey, Austin, Tristan, Annie, we just want to let you know, now's the time we're going to destroy the church. We're dropping that weapon of mass destruction. It's not what he does. Instead, his strategy is to divide, to split you up. Now, if the enemy came in and wanted to divide them, Tristan, again, would probably, stick your chest out a little more. Let's go, sir. Yeah, okay, all right.
Stand up a little taller.
Yeah, how tall are you? Anyway, so he would be ready. He'd flex on him. So I don't think the enemy even shows up in division. Instead, the enemy shows up. His tactic is offense. That's how he shows up. Luke chapter 17. Let me read this to you real quick. Luke 17. Jesus said to his disciples, things that cause people to stumble are bound to come, but woe to anyone through whom they come. It would be better for them to be thrown into the sea with a millstone tied around their neck than to cause one of these little ones to stumble. Hello. We think Jesus is this meek and mild hippie. Jesus says, if you're causing offense, you're gonna be thrown into the sea. Sheesh, is right. Jesus can be a savage. His tactic is offense. It's offense. Just a little thing. Just a little thing. Just a little thing. That's, by the way, how he does it with the church as well. That's how he does it with us, trying to move forward to reach more people for Jesus. The enemy divides and destroys through an offense. He'll lead relationships inside a church to be full of little offenses. See, here's what happens. It's just a little, yeah, Tristan, do you think I'm like, yeah, Tristan, you shouldn't have worn that today. One step. It takes one little offense to lead to destruction, one little offense that can lead to division. The enemy is crafty. He's sneaky. He'll do this one offense at a time. He'll destroy a relationship one offense at a time, one comment at a time, step. One he said, she said at a time, step. One Facebook post at a time, step. One, I forgot the anniversary, Tristan only, step. Until you come to this place, okay? You come to this place where the chasm is seemingly too far away to fix and heal the relationship. Now, I'm telling you right now, if you are not married yet, or you are getting ready to get married, or you're dating, please write this stuff down because it is coming. The little offenses. See, the bridge to bitterness, because where you are here, you become bitter. The bridge to bitterness is built one offense at a time. One offense at a time. And what started as a little thing has grown out of control into a divisive and a destructive thing in our lives and in our relationships. That's what offense can do. And offense is insidious, by the way, because it is not always obvious. You can be offended in your heart and in your mind and look pretty normal to the world. You can operate with your hands as if you are not. You could come to church, I would dare say 33.3333333% of you today came to church today with a little offense inside of your heart, inside of your mind. You got some serious issues with the person to your left or to your right. And yet you could stand here and you could sing every song that we sang with hands lifted high. You could be in your seat singing, you turn graves into gardens. Bow, 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 bow. She keeps charging up the credit cards. He keeps leaving his shoes everywhere. I hate him now. But there's nothing better than you. And there's nothing worse than him. Watch this. It's the not knowing that can be dangerous. It's the not knowing. It's your own thoughts about what is true that can be more dangerous than the reality of what is true. That'll preach. I'm preaching. Okay. See, the enemy cannot harm you as much as your own thoughts unguarded. That is his tactic, offense. He wants you to destroy you. He wants you to destroy you. That is so much easier for him, so much more effective for him than having to do it all himself. He wants you to just spin out of control, thinking they thought or feeling they felt, and never actually confirming. Lord knows that your boy, Austin, needs this. My wife is the most unoffendable person I have ever met. I, on the other hand, am working on it. Give you an example. Tristan takes the sermons and he turns them into clips and puts them on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and YouTubes and Googles and all the machines, and he puts it on there. And I'll go like the video or whatever, and then I'll jump into the comments. Don't get in the comments. I get into the comments, and I'll see somebody. It's always some user 49291112. It's like, bro, just pick a username, okay? And he comments something about like the video, and it's like, this is so unbiblical. And I'm like, bro, listen to the full context of the video. And then I will go to his profile and I'll make fun of his puny little profile picture and, make myself feel a little bit better. Now, maybe I'm being a little bit dramatic, but that happens all the time in our lives. Happens to you just like it does to me. Offense leads to divorce. Offense leads to broken friendships. She was your best friend for years, and you haven't talked to them in forever, and you don't even remember why. Offense leads to all kinds of fights in our life. Offense leads us to fighting over things that really aren't even that big of a deal. But the question again is, how does this happen? And if we find ourselves separated, if we find ourselves there in the moment where the chasm is too big, how do we fix that? This is really a relationship sermon. If you're married, if you want to be married, dating, you ought to write some stuff down because it's so easy to take offense in a relationship. So my question to you is, do you know the art of being unoffendable? Because it is an art. It ebbs and flows. You have to work your way through it. The art of being unoffendable. Now, there's 1,000 causes of offense in your life. There's 1,000 causes of offense in my life. There's little comments, there's big comments, there's all kinds of stuff. And so I'm not gonna cover everything, but I wanna look at two main causes and look at some scripture about this. Two main causes that I believe lead us to offense more than anything else in our life. If you're ready, say I'm ready. All right. Write this down, write this down. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John wrote it down, and that's why we have the Bible. I mean, God was involved. But number one, write this down, selfishness. Ooh, selfishness. Okay, Brant Hansen, this guy, this guy. He said, if you're constantly being hurt, offended, or angered, you should honestly evaluate your own inflamed ego. Oof. Brant, that name sounds like you would say something like that. I think a lot of my problems can be boiled down to selfishness in our heart. Pride. I know it's the case for me. It's the benefit of marriage and kids, by the way. Not only when you have kids does your heart grow and you have so much more room for love, right, parents? So much more room to give. You're so excited. But also your bills grow. Your groceries grow. And if you let it, your awareness of your own selfishness starts to grow. When you get married, you realize how selfish you are. Or was it just me? You realize how selfish you are. Then you throw a kid or three in the mix, and you'll realize that you are way more selfish than you ever thought possible. When you want to watch trash TV, Love is Blind, but they want to watch Coco freaking Melon. If I have to listen to, you're a soccer rocker one more time, I'm putting them up for adoption. Now, the more selfish you are, the more likely, though, you are going to take offense. So, let me get in your business a little bit. If you constantly find yourself taking offense, it's probably because you are extraordinarily selfish. If that offended you, you're selfish. Need I go on? Why? Why is that? Well, because whether the text you took offense to was supposed to be offensive or not, when you are selfish, everything is about you. So everything they said is a shot at you. Someone will text you and say, yes, period. They didn't say LOL. There's no emoji. They're done. It's over. It's over. That relationship is over. Crazy offendable. That's what we do. And y'all are like, because you did it yesterday. You lost a relationship yesterday. Can I just remind you real quick, though, that people are sinful? People are messed up. You got any messed up people? Yeah. People are messed up. People will let you down. Your pastor, hello, I will let you down. I will let you down. See, if the whole world is all about you and not letting you down, you will constantly live offended. No other options. Let me just remind you quickly that the world, in fact, does not revolve around you. And people are thinking about you far less than you think they are. Austin. I'd go as far to say, heard a pastor say this recently, an offended Christian has forgotten how much they've been forgiven of. Selfishness will tell you that they owe you, but Jesus will tell you that you are just as sinful as they are. That you are a sinner too, in need of a Savior. That you have been forgiven of much. And if you've been forgiven much, you should forgive much. Be ye kind one to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as Christ, for God's sake, forgiven you. Doodly-doo. Ephesians 4:32. I'm singing. I'm trying out for the band today. Forgive. Why do we forgive? We forgive because we've been forgiven. My prayer for myself is, and my prayer for you is that our capacity for forgiveness would be greater than our capacity for offense. What if the church was the least offendable organization, the least offendable community in the world? Man, it's so easy to be offended in our world. You want to be counterculture? Don't get offended. Every other community group gets offended like that. What if we didn't cancel people like the world? What if we forgave people like Jesus? What if we didn't get so offended so easy? What would happen? The world would take notice and say, something is different about them. Selfishness. Number 2, quickly, is assumption. Assumption. You know what assuming does to you and me. You can Google it because we're in church. Let me read this quote to you. Pete Scazzaro, he says it this way. Every time I make an assumption about someone who has hurt or disappointed me without, keyword, confirming it, I believe a lie about this person in my head. This assumption is a misrepresentation of reality. Why do you assume? Why do I assume? Why would we, by all accounts, try our darndest to read somebody else's mind? Because when you're assuming, what are you doing? You are reading their mind. Let me remind you, you are not Jedi Master Yoda. And the reason I believe that we will try to read someone's mind, or we will try to figure out what they're thinking or what they're feeling without talking to them. The reason is because talking is hard. Talking is hard. Talking to people can be difficult, especially when the talking contains more than, well, brother, how's the weather? But instead it contains confrontation. Talking can lead to problems. But there are no solutions to offense outside of communication. None. The only way to confirm or deny whether your intuition, you reading their mind, is right or wrong is to actually communicate that intuition and to listen to the response. Not argue, but confront. Let me show you scripture. Matthew chapter 5 and Matthew chapter 8, okay? Matthew chapter 5 and Matthew chapter 8. I'm gonna read this to you. It says this, Matthew 5:23. Therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar and there remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go, somebody say go, and be reconciled to them. Then come and offer your gift. It's Matthew chapter 5. Now, Matthew chapter 18 is the flip of this. If your brother or sister sins, go, somebody say go, and point out their fault just between the two of you. That's a big one. Now, here's why I read both of those. Because whether you were the offended party or you were the offender who was doing the offending, what we tend to do, our first reaction is to avoid. We ghost the problem. And what Jesus says, these are red letters, by the way. What Jesus says is not to ghost, but to go. If you're a Christian in the house today, your responsibility is to go to them. Whether you offended them or you were offended by them, it's to take the first step, to go. See, when the enemy tries to come and cause division in our lives, it's often, our first response is often this like, peacemaker stuff. We want to be a peacemaker. But when we do peacemaking, unfortunately, what we often do is we just avoid. We think, well, if I don't talk to them, then I can just avoid it, and I'm going to keep the peace, and I'm just not going to talk about it, and I'm just going to move on. We avoid the conflict because we don't want to disrupt the peace. You've seen this at Thanksgiving with your family. But if we avoid the conflict with people, we end up creating an inner conflict with ourselves that we cannot control, that leads to bitterness that will eat you alive. Because being offended, it hurts you more than it hurts them. Unforgiveness, it hurts you more than it hurts them. Sometimes, let's be real, they don't even know that they have hurt you. They don't even know that they've offended you. And because you're so offended, because I'm so offended, and we are such middle school girls with our caramel lattes, that we will not say anything to them and allow them to fix the problem. And we instead get bitter and we leave and we talk trash about them while they're completely unaware of any of it. That they would have fixed it if you would have just stopped trying to read their mind. So I want to give you real practical. I got 3 minutes and 6 seconds left. Real practical, 4 easy steps to stop reading minds. 4 steps. Number 1, it's this principle. You may have heard of it before, the principle of charity. Principle of charity. One should interpret other people's statements in their best, most reasonable form, not in the worst or most offensive way possible. You know what we tend to do? The second part. Why would they? Again. Another way I like to say this is when they talk to you or they text you, just imagine everything they texted, everything they emailed was sent with a smile. Not a joker smile, but a smile. So when she texts you and says, "Did you take out the trash? It's trash day." She said it with a smile. Okay, number 2, ask this question. I'm telling you, I've used this question this week especially, and man, I'm telling you, it works. Ask, may I read your mind? May I read your mind? No, Tyler, you don't have to do all this. May I read your mind? Now, here's what this will do. It'll break the ice, and it will allow the confrontation to become a conversation rather than an argument. Can I read your mind? here's what I think you're thinking, okay? With your permission, here's what I think you're thinking. In fact, here's what I feel that you're feeling. Can you help me understand? Is that right? That is a game changer in confrontation. It's a game changer. Can I read your mind? Number 3, employ empathy over emotion. This is a big one. Employ empathy over emotion. I know it's hard, but try to see it from their perspective. I know you're a Republican and they're a Democrat or vice versa, but try to see it from their perspective. Employ empathy. The reality is, we said it earlier during the worship, everybody in here came in with something. Everyone you come in contact with today, your waitress that you ought to tip well, who is overworked, has too many tables, everyone you come in contact with is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. Everybody. And I know you want it on your schedule. I know you want it when you want it. I know. Me too. Me too. But the person on the other end needs some empathy because they're fighting a battle you don't know about. Number four. It's very simple. Shut up and listen. Yeah, you can say that in church. Shut up and listen. Don't listen to respond, listen to learn. James 1:19 says this, my dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. The Austin version is, everyone should shut up, listen, and stop taking offense so easily. Question again is, how do we find ourselves so separated in our relationships where once it was incredible, we had the best friendship, we had the best marriage, and now we're divorced, now we're separated, now there's this chasm between us. How do we get there? I'll tell you how you get there and how you are susceptible to this. We get there one step at a time. One offense at a time. Likewise, how do we heal our relationships that have been divided or destroyed? I'll tell you how. You do it one step at a time. One step at a time. Now, if you want to know the steps to take, what that looks like, if you want to know about that, you're going to have to come back next week for the final installment of Shame Off You. I'm telling you right now, offense is a moment. I almost promise you, you will be offended in the next 24 hours. But you also have the decision whether you're going to walk in that or you're going to leave it where it is. Every head bowed, every eye closed.